I do not ever get excited about weddings. I am not a fan of attending weddings. But I have this weird fascination with rom-coms about weddings, particularly if they've got very bright colour palettes and everything's all crisp and white and brightly lit. And Bride Wars is one of those films that I actually really liked. This was released in 2009, directed by Gary Winick, with screenplay by Casey Wilson and Greg DePaul, and it stars Anne Hathaway and Kate Hudson. I think I probably watched this for the first time because of Anne Hathaway. I'm a big Anne Hathaway fan, and both are great in this. I should say that this isn't very well received. It's got a Metascore of 24, which is tragically low, and an IMDb overall rating of 5.5 out of 10, which is not that great, but obviously it's not bad. It's kind of middle of the road. But I really like it. The description from IMDb is only one sentence, but I actually think it gives a really nice but basic overview. And this says, 2 best friends become rivals when they schedule their respective weddings on the same day. So we have Liv and Emma, played by Hudson and Hathaway respectively. They schedule their wedding on the same day, and now they're both competing to have the best wedding on the day that they want. Now, in reality, they could have just, one of them could have rescheduled the wedding. It would have been a quick conversation between them and they could have changed it. But that would be a very short and dull film. The kind of catfight nature here is quite good fun. It's not usually the kind of thing I care about, but they're kind of archetypal bridezilla characters, but there are 2 of them. And the fact that they've been best friends forever gives it that additional dimension. It's not just 2 brides who have maybe turned up at the same venue, who hadn't met each other, although that would be an interesting take on this, to see how it would differ and how their behaviours would differ. But because they know each other very well, I think it's very, very interesting. I think the colour palette works very well. There are certain expectations that I have for films, contemporary films about weddings. I like them to be very pretty and brightly lit with a lot of fresh colours, and it certainly delivers. We have some gorgeous costumes, and ordinarily I can watch a film and not be too bothered about the costumes, but with this kind of thing I like the outfits to be striking and memorable, and that's pretty much the case. The narrative develops quite well. It's not exactly the most thrilling or gripping. It's not full of twists and turns. It's pretty predictable, but it's good fun, and it's safe and comfortable, and it's a nice watch. Obviously, because it's not been very well received, I'm looking at that rating and I'm thinking, I don't agree with that, but I'm not going to say that this is the best film I've ever seen. It's not even the best wedding-based film I've ever seen. But in terms of setting an example of how, in my opinion, to do this kind of film, I think they did very well. I don't understand why it's rated quite so negatively. It's not incredible, but it's a good fun watch. It's about an hour and a half, and a really nice way to spend an afternoon or an evening or whatever. Brilliant cast, great acting, great set designs, beautiful outfits, pretty well developed narrative. Personally, I can't complain.